yes, or just to say you're okay?
I'd like to call the May 8th, 2017 Old Bridge Town Council meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for the prayer and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Panos, the prayer, please.
O Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve thee in this chamber. Give them quiet minds and hearts that they may hear thy voice. Help them to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give them the strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right, and grant that they have a good conscience and soul at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Amen. As is customary in this chamber, we always stand for a moment of silence to honor those men and women who are fighting both home and abroad to protect our freedoms, our first responders, and those that have given the ultimate sacrifice. Moment of silence, please. Thank you. Please be seated. What's that? Yeah.
Mrs. Dungy? Dr. Greenberg?
Present.
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Mollis? Here. Mrs. Panos?
Here.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Here.
Mrs. Sohar?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
Here.
President Kale?
Here.
9 present.
All right, President, we have a quorum. We'll go right into the body of the meeting. First off, we have a proclamation. Certificate of Excellence presented to the Camp Robin Area 5 Special Olympic Speed Skating Team. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Council. Good evening, everyone. Is this one? Can I just make sure? Okay, the green light's on, so I'm assuming it's working. Tonight we have a special group of individuals, special athletes in our town. Our Camp Robin Olympic Speed Skating Team is here tonight to get their certificates. They performed, and they did very, very well. I know Old Bridge is home to a famous Olympian, but I consider these Olympians in higher esteem because they really work hard. They have to be one of our hardest group of people around, and they put everything they have into it, and the results speak for themselves. So at this time, I would like head coach Richard Antonizzi to please join me. For the coaches, head coach, Old Bridge Camp Robin, Area 5 Special Olympic Speed Skating Team, in recognition of your outstanding achievement at the New Jersey Special Olympics, Skyland Arena, Stockholm, New Jersey, on February 7, 2017. Thank you, Richard. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's look at this.
Another great year. We had 19 athletes this time, so our program is growing. We had 5 new athletes join the team, some of which was the first time on skates. And by the time the practices and the competition was done, they all came away with medals. So they did a fantastic job, and we really are really proud of them. Also like to give, before I read the names off, really special thanks to Barbara Anderson, because Barbara, without you, the program would be nothing. Every year we go to her, she's always there, very giving, very caring, and we couldn't do it without you. Also want to thank Pete Pirro, who's the backbone of the team. Excellent job, Pete, and again, we couldn't do it without you. We have a bunch of coaches, and we also have a lot of volunteers that helped us out. And I really have to give a lot of accolades to these volunteers, because these individuals, they don't get paid for what they do, and not only do they help us out at skating on Saturday, they're there for basketball, they're there for track, they're there for anything. Whatever's needed, these people step up and they come. And, you know, these are young men that could be doing a whole lot of other things with their time, but they decide and choose to come help our kids. So for all the volunteers, you know, a heartfelt thank you. You guys are wonderful. We couldn't do it without you. And also, we couldn't achieve the results without the other coaches on my team. So first up, Mike Senatiempo Sr. Thank you. Someone near and dear to my heart, Danny Antonazzi.
Great job, as always, Danny. Thank you so much.
Jennifer Antonazzi, but she's up in school right now, so we'll recognize her later. We'll go to the athletes right now. Sure. First one up is Myvi Nguyen. She got 100 meter and first place in the 500 meter.
Nice.
Next up, Bobby V. He got first place in the 25 meter, first place in the 100 meter. Bobby. Jimmy Smith, third place in the 300 meters, second place in the 500. Tommy Antonazzi, first place in the 100 meter, third place in the 300 meter. Pam Giles, first place in the 100 meter, third place in the 300 meter.
That's harder than skating, man. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Pam. Thank you. Mark Zeloff, who's not here, second place in the 300 meter, second place in the 500 meter. Nicholas Grant, who's not here, third place 500 meter, fifth place 500 meter. Puccio, second place 300 meter, fourth place 500 meter. This is one of our new athletes. This individual did such a great job that New Jersey Special Olympics decided to make a video of him and his family, and it's online. Go check it out. It's very moving, and it's a wonderful thing. Jaden Regenbogen. Jaden got third place in the 500 meter and a participation.
Come on.
Plus, he's a big Ranger fan, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Matt Arvello, first place 25 meter, first place 100 meter. Another one of our new athletes that just joined us, Louis Cavana, first place 100 meter, first place 500 meter. Chris McMullen, first place 300 meter, first place 500 meter. Joey Pilchuk, who I don't believe is here, first place 300 meter and a participation on the 500 meter. Another new athlete that joined the team, Dylan Madrid, third place 300 meter, first place 500 meter. Another new athlete that first time with the team, and all these guys, you're coming back, right? Right. We're going to start up soon. Sal Lupino, second place 300 meters, second place 500 meters. Robbie Lou, second place 300 meters, second place 500 meters. Paul Pantano, first place 300 meter, first place 500 meter. Daniel Chang, second place 300 meter, second place 500 meter. Another one of our new athletes, and pardon me for if I don't say the last name right, Yamaj Abdisubahan. First place 300 meter, third place 500 meter. And that's it for all the athletes. So one more round of applause. We're going to recognize some of the volunteers, and again, these guys go above and beyond. They're with us every week in the freezing cold, and we really couldn't do what we do without them. So first one up, Brandon Kelly. And the volunteers are a mix. Part of them are guys that are on the Old Bridge hockey team, and the other ones are just guys that just love being here with us. Bryce Percoco. And some of our athletes, their results are purely based on the support that these guys give them and the one-on-one attention. So, Mitch Schaefer. Matt Rosalie. Matt's one of the guys that lives for Special Olympics, both him and his brother. Emily Burke. Grant is not here. Rochelle Zeloff is not here. Dawn. Claudia Puccio. Mike Senatiempo Jr. Casey Cavison, here. On Rosalie. Thank you. I got the Ranger shirt for you later. Tony DiAugusto, right here, and Pete Piero. Pete. Come on. And again, on behalf of my coaches and the team, we want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, and the Township for everything that you do to support the program. Old Bridge is highly regarded in Special Olympics, and obviously we couldn't do all that without everybody's support. So thank you all very much, and October.
Great job by the athletes, coaches, volunteers. Why don't we take a 5-minute break so the athletes, coaches, parents, friends. You want to do that? You want to do that? Why don't we let Why don't we let everybody Everybody wants to leave, can leave
please.
now, and we'll start the meeting up again in 5 minutes, okay? Proclamation, May 2017 as Building Safety Month. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Council, where'd everybody go? Is it me? I have a proclamation tonight I'd like to read. Whereas the Township of Old Bridge is committed to recognizing our growth and strength, which depends on the safety and economic value of our homes, buildings, and infrastructure that serve our citizens in both everyday life and times of natural disaster. Our confidence in the structural integrity of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of our buildings. These guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, a U.S.-based organization that brings together local, state, and federal officials that are experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, worship, and play. Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown guardians of public safety, our local code officials, who assure us a safe, efficient, and livable buildings that are essential to keep America great. Code officials, partners in safety and economic growth, the theme for Building Safety Month 2017 encourages all Americans to raise awareness of the importance of building safe and resilient construction, fire prevention, disaster mitigation, and new technologies in the construction industry. Building Safety Month 2017 encourages appropriate steps everyone can take to assure that the places we live, learn, work, worship, and play are safe, and recognizes that countless lives have been saved due to the implementation of safety codes by local and state agencies. Each year in observance of Building Safety Month, Americans are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Now, therefore, I, Owen Henry, Mayor of the Township of Old Bridge, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2017 as Building Safety Month. Accordingly, I encourage our citizens to join with their communities in participation of Building Safety Month activities. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, let's get back into the body of the meeting. We'll go to approval of minutes of previous meetings. First one is combined meeting March 13th, 2017. Can I get a motion, please? Have a motion, please.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Rosencrantz. Can I have a second? Second by Mrs. Panos. Any questions, comments? But Mrs. Sohar? No. Oh, sorry. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Dungy.
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Abstain.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Cahill. 8 yes, 1 abstention.
Combined meeting March 27th, 2017. Have a motion, please.
Move it.
Moved by Mrs. Panos. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Rosencrantz. Any questions on this March 27th combined meeting? Seeing and hearing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Dungy.
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
President Cahill.
Yes.
9 yes.
Executive session, March 27th, 2017. Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Moved by Mrs. Panos. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Dungy. Any questions on the executive session minutes? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dungy.
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
President Cahill.
Yes. Moving on to the bill list. Mr. Rosencrantz?
Thank you, Council President. Bill list for May 8th, 2017. Accounts payable. May 8th, 2017, $15,134,577.37.
Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Moved by Mrs. Pownds. Can I have a second? Second by Mr. Mollis. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dungy.
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Green. Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
President Cahill.
Yes.
9 yes.
Payroll, April 28th, 2017, $870,576.64.
Can I have a motion, please?
Move it.
Moved by Mrs. Panos. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Dungy. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dungy.
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
President Cahill.
Yes.
9 yes.
Payroll overtime, April 28th, 2017, $39,583.44.
I got a motion, please.
Move it.
Moved by Mrs. Pownds. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rosencrantz. Mr. Shaw, can you do the breakout, please?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. As Mr. Rosencrantz indicated, the total overtime was $39,583.44. I want to point out that there was a $6,029.94 overtime in parking utility, parking capital fund. It was related to the in-house work that staff performed in installing the lights, LED lights at the parking lot, both commuter lots. And the reason it was done in-house is because it saved money in our calculation. So we decided to purchase the LED lights and install by our staff. Going to police department, the sworn police overtime was $25,041.62. When you deduct for grant, $4,668.64. Deduct for ETO, $3,412.92. The net overtime for police sworn officers was $16,960.06, which represents 414.5 men and women hours. I just want to point out that there are 2 vacancies in the police department. There are 3 officers on disability and 1 officer on a military duty.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Shaw on the overtime? Seeing and hearing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Dungy.
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
President Cahill.
Yes.
9 yes.
And that concludes the bill list for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Rosencrantz. Moving on to ordinances for second reading. Ordinance number 1, number 2017-11, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain officers or employees of the Township of Albridge for calendar year 2017. Can I get a motion introduced, please?
I'll make a motion, sir.
Mr. Mollis moved it. Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Rosencrantz seconded. Anybody from the public want to be heard on ordinance number 1 for second reading? I'll close the public portion. Council comments on the second reading ordinance. Seeing and hearing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Dungy.
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Mollis.
Yes.
Mrs. Panos.
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
President Cahill.
Yes.
9 yes.
We'll go into preliminary public comments to the council, subject to the following conditions and restrictions. 1, during a preliminary public portion of the meeting, any person may address the Township Council on one subject for a maximum period of 5 minutes. Any such person desiring to speak during a preliminary public portion shall first sign a list maintained by the Township Clerk for such purpose. Comments during the preliminary public comment portion of the meeting shall not encompass second reading ordinances or any other matter for which comment or public hearing is to occur at this meeting. Has anybody signed up?
Yep. Nia Shah.
Good evening. Would you like to stand or sit? Okay, just come up to the mic and just turn it around so everybody can hear. Just name and address, please, for the record.
Yeah, myself Neha Shah,
Okay.
and
And
11 Parkour Drive, up South Hamboy.
is that on, Mary? Can you hear that?
Oh, okay. I guess it's not on.
You know what? Maybe you should try sitting at the desk. Maybe
Is the
those
green
will
light
work.
on?
We're having a
Yeah,
little
it's green
problem.
It
light.
is?
Yeah. Hello. Maybe I don't know.
Do you want to sit then, maybe, or?
It's okay. I can sit. Okay.
Yeah, why don't you sit so people at home can hear you? No, sit right here.
Right here.
Where the mic is. Just pull the mic up. This way people at home can hear you.
Oh,
Okay? And in the audience, too. Yeah, just pull the mic up close to you. Okay.
hello. Now, is
That's
it
better.
okay?
Is it
Okay.
on?
Myself, Neha Shah. And I'm representing Parking and Transportation Committee. And
Okay.
my address is 11T, Parkwood Drive, Apartment T, South Amboy, New Jersey, 08879.
Okay, great.
And I'm just have a couple of questions regarding the
You
parking.
guys can't hear?
spaces.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
You can hear, but the audience can't hear.
Yeah.
still not?
Yeah,
Oh, probably, I'm not.
yeah. Why don't we just take a timeout on the timer? We'll just try and get the, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Sounds like something's working now.
Ours are working, so
Can you speak in
Hello?
that?
Hello?
Just tap.
Now it's better?
That's better.
Can you guys hear now? You can?
Okay, now I have to
Yes,
start.
there we go.
Oh,
Yay. There you go, Mary.
this is the first time, so probably.
That was a test. You
this is-
passed. You did great. So, go
That's better then.
ahead. I apologize for that.
That's okay. And I have a couple of questions regarding the parkings in a old bridge on Route 9. The one, it's a big parking lot, and they charge $25 annually, but it's not free for holidays and weekends. Why the rest? It's around like 4 or 5 parking lots around that area, and the rest is charging like $75 a quarterly, but they are free in a weekends and holidays. And I don't know who belongs to like the old bridge and who not, and who park over there, the residents and non-residents, I mean to say. And if you consider the holidays, which holidays you consider as a free parking? And the big parking lot, even though there is no free during the weekends and holidays. And couple of things, it's like yeah, that's it, I guess. Yep.
Okay, so your question is the weekend free parking? Is that your
Yeah, for the big parking lot is not free for the weekends,
Right.
and they charge not even the holidays, and they charge $1 per day. While for the residents, I guess it's like $25 annually, while the rest of the parking lot is $75 quarterly. Why there is a lot of difference? And they are free during the weekends and holidays too.
Yeah, I don't know whether you get the $75 fee. I'm not sure.
That is written on the board. It's like the signboards.
Park America.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Park America.
Yeah, I don't think that's Old Bridge.
That's not Old Bridge.
Yeah,
Old Bridge charges $25 annually for
Right.
everybody.
right.
Oh,
Every
okay, and
resident. Yeah, plus
okay,
$1 a
so-
day.
oh, okay.
But
So
that's
I'm
Park
sorry to
America.
interrupt you.
No, that's okay. That's Park America.
oh,
They
okay,
charge more than we do.
okay. And how about the? It's not free for the weekends, right?
Council President,
Yeah,
right.
go ahead.
In order to park on the weekends, you need to have a permit. We don't collect the dollar bills on a Saturday and a Sunday and a holiday. So it's not free, but you need a permit to park there. You just can't park a car unless you have a permit to park.
For example, if I just go once in a blue moon, like Christmas time in New York, I don't need to pay like $25 just for one day, right? But
According
it's
to
like-
but we usually don't enforce on the weekends
okay.
park. Come on,
And,
I've done it. You've done it too.
Okay, and the rest of the I'm sorry, this is like, and the rest of the parking lot says the holidays and weekends are free. So which holidays you consider as a free parking?
oh, there's the stand.
Yeah.
Probably the township calendar, if we consider that a holiday, whatever calendar schedule we're on.
Okay, but there is nothing signed, so I don't know how
Huh?
to calculate those holidays as a holiday.
Yeah, I assume it's the township holidays, right? Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Okay?
okay, sure.
Thank you.
Can I say
Much-
something?
Well,
Can we
No,
consider?
no, time out.
Of
This is
course.
for- This is the public portion.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
It's the public portion, Mrs. Walker. You'll have an opportunity to speak.
And we have Art Haney.
Name and address for the record, please.
Art Haney, 5 Kristen Court. For those who don't remember, I used to be the mayor, I was a councilman, I was even a freeholder at one point in time. Anyway, the reason I'm here tonight is I didn't make the meeting last time, and during the course of the meeting, Mr. Green decided to make some comments about me. So I wanted to have the opportunity to come up and clear up the record a little bit. Mr. Green was talking about his actions as a member of the Board of Taxation in Middlesex County, and my actions as a member of the Board of Taxation in Middlesex County. At that meeting, from what I saw on YouTube, Mr. Green indicated that at my last meeting, which was October 20th, that there was a motion from the commissioners to enter into an agreement with the state of New Jersey, in which case the board unanimously passed a motion that would require the board to order 2 towns a year to reval in Middlesex County. There's 25 towns in Middlesex County. That had to do with the fact that all towns, all tax boards in the state were doing this in a dispute with the state last year, and Middlesex was the last one to come to an agreement, because over the years, Middlesex County was very capable of getting people voluntarily to do revals, which was not so successful in other counties in the state. However, it was my last meeting, and the one message at the end that I don't believe Mr. Green read into the record was that the commissioners will review the questionnaires received from the municipalities that are under an 85% ratio to determine which 2 towns will be ordered. Now, that's important. It's important because the responsibility of the commissioners were to review all the towns that were below 85% before they made a determination exactly as to what towns were going to be ordered. And Mr. Green made a big point of the fact that he abstained on Old Bridge at the December 20th meeting, which was 2 months away, 60 days between the meetings. Now, the real question here, since he made a point to say that that although he voted for Middlesex Borough, he abstained on Old Bridge and implied that the reason there's a revaluation in Old Bridge had to do with me. Now, the fact of the matter is, for almost 20 years that I served on the tax board, we never really had to go out and order any town to do the job. We worked with them, and they came in and worked with us. As a matter of fact, before we did this, Edison's been working on doing theirs, which is a large town. And one of the reasons for that is that it costs upwards of $2 million for the larger towns to do this, and is a burden on the taxpayers in those communities. So we always tried to work with people, not against. However, the question I had here was that if you're so concerned that you want to tell people that you had nothing to do with it, the fact of the matter is that Old Bridge was the 11th town with the lowest ratio. There were 10 other towns, so actually almost 11 towns before Old Bridge. Old Bridge had a 45.84% ratio. See, this isn't really done just by the fact of how many years you didn't do a revaluation. I did a reassessment when I was mayor, and Brian Enright, your assessor, has done an outstanding job because he used a system called maintenance and kept the ratio up in the 90s for years until the legislature made changes in the laws. So there's a group of items that you enter into in making a determination on whether you're going to order a town. The state, of course, wants to see towns ordered. So Old Bridge is at 45.84%, but there are towns all the way down to 24% that have not been ordered. Now, my concern here is, I understand why he may want to abstain on an order to Old Bridge. But the fact is, as a commissioner, you're still responsible to the people of Middlesex County and to the Township of Old Bridge to do your job. Now, I assume you must have done your job. You reviewed all of those other towns beforehand. The commissioners, you all met and reviewed the towns and had discussions. I would hope that that's what you did. And I would certainly hope that you yourself reviewed everything and found out why you should be ordering the towns you're ordering. Because the fact of the matter is,
Finish up.
the other towns that are involved with the other commissioners are East Brunswick, New Brunswick, and Woodbridge, and every one of those are below Old Bridge's ratio. Old Bridge is higher, has a better ratio, and somehow the commissioners from those towns who sat there seem to make sure that their communities weren't ordered a reval,
Okay, we're gonna have to finish up.
but you, of course, allowed the reval to go through without any public explanation as to why.
Thank you, Mr. Haney.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else sign up?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to council member comments.
That's
Who would like to
disgusting.
speak? Mrs. Walker, I know you wanted to speak before. Would you want to speak now?
I'm allowed to speak?
Yeah, Wow.
I just wanted to say, before the lady left, I didn't know she
Right.
was going to get a chance to stay, that we should look into not having to pay on the weekends at the park and rides if we're not monitoring them. And people have come here before and said the same thing. Why can't we allow the people to park there on weekends and holidays? It's something we should change the sign, so, you know.
It's by ordinance, the council would have to take
I'm
action.
saying, why don't we
I
do it?
came out, maybe inadvertently said we don't enforce. People have called my office, can we park there on the weekends? Yes, go ahead, park there on the weekends.
Well, then
Okay.
maybe I think we should pull the ordinance up and change it.
We've
for-
said this years ago, that we should
Why don't we-
change the way people pay to park here. We've been saying
Yeah,
it
we
for a
wanted-
long
we
time.
wanted that-
Council needs to
yes.
take action. Council needs to
Well,
take action.
wait.
Next time.
We had asked the administration numerous times to change the way the parking's paid for, and they were going to come up with a plan for us. So when a plan's presented to us, we will take action. As far as the ordinance, why don't we put that up for discussion?
Sure,
meeting.
if you want to put something forward, put in a pink sheet and we could do it.
Okay, you got it. Thank you.
Who else would like to speak? Mr. Green?
Yeah, I just want to thank Mr. Haney for the good presentation as far as what happens with the tax board. The only reason I brought it up had nothing to do with Mr. Haney, it had to do with an individual who tried to attack me on a Recreation Advisory Board meeting. And it was a shame. And I wasn't going to sit there and take this individual's nonsense. So thank you, Mr. Haney, for explaining exactly what the township is in for. And at some point, I actually talked to Mr. Enright, and he's going to come here and he's going to present the whole picture of why we have to have an evaluation and what it entails. So thank you, Mr. Haney.
Anybody else want to speak? Dr. Greenberg and then Mrs. Dungy.
Yeah, several things. First of all, I do appreciate Mr. Haney coming forward and talk, and I do think it's a shame when you give latitude to other people to talk past the 5 minutes when they have something so important to speak that you wouldn't let them to continue. With that said, I would like to bring up that I was not at the last council meeting, but it is very disturbing to me that you approved minutes from an executive session on January 3rd that did not reflect what went on at that meeting. I spoke to the attorney, to Mr. Roselli, and Mr. Roselli,
I don't know if you're gonna, you can't get any
Right.
privilege.
We do
That's
this
the
all the
bottom
time.
line, yes.
Yeah, okay.
well, no, I'm not talking about what's in there in the details. I am not talking about the details.
Yeah, but you might be, I don't know, since I don't know.
No,
what
this
you're
is
gonna
already in the minutes what Mr. Roselli said, if you read the minutes.
say. Okay, but what you're talking, if you're talking about a conversation you had with him on the record, that's one thing. But if you're gonna go into, private conversation you had with the lawyer, I don't know.
No, it's not a private conversation. What I'm saying is what he said, if you read the
On
minutes.
the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So it was discussed with Mr. Roselli during a meeting, and his advice, as I state, it says the attorney advised that the requested statements should be included in the minutes. He advised that the council members are entitled to have the minutes reflect what they feel happened at that meeting, and they can edit it accordingly. Additions can be made. Therefore, I say this, if you say they are not verbatim because they are not recorded, I question why the minutes of an executive session are not recorded. I was on the planning board. Those executive minutes were recorded. So I advise right now, and this day forward, that executive minutes should be recorded so we do not have this problem again. Because it is very disturbing to me that when the majority can vote on something and they say the words that were supposed to be in the minutes weren't there when they were, I think that's very disturbing and not very transparent. And I think at this time forward, I request that we record our executive session so we do not have this problem again. And that, we will wait and we can, I've had numerous conversations after this, and those minutes, what Mr. Roselli said, are in the minutes if you choose to read them. And you could look in the email that was sent from the clerk. Thank you for your time, and I hope that we take this into consideration so we don't have a problem. What goes on in executive session should be tape recorded. If we have this problem that we have council members voting on minutes that do not reflect what happened, that is ludicrous. Thank you.
Mrs. Dungy?
Yes. Thank you. I have a couple of questions that have been brought to my attention by some of the constituents in my third ward, specifically Madison Park. One of the questions is, how long will the people be there that's working on the pipe, putting in the gas lines, rather, in the streets? It appears that they've been there a very, very long time, and the constituents say that they would like to know when this is going to be completed. I guess they go to Mr. Mayor.
I believe the pipe work has been completed. We're working on the road restoration now. And our engineers met with PSE&G last week, and they have a comprehensive plan for the paving, and we'll distribute that to the council once everything has been completed. I think there was some going back between engineering and public service where we want them to do curb to curb. In some places we're switching off so that the roads get restored to the best of their ability, but also work with public service to get more roads paved in combination with our capital project. So we're going to be switching. We'll do some roads in public service. We'll do more on the roads that they're working on. So we're working out a deal with PSE&G and their paving contractor. But this summer, I can assure you, Madison Park will be very busy with road restoration, along with the rest of the town where public service has worked. But I believe Madison Park, the pipe work is complete.
Okay.
We'll get you some answers by next council meeting. Exactly.
Okay, thank you. The concern also is with the access getting in and out of Madison Park. A lot of times they have to drive, around to get out because they haven't not been given any pre-warning as to what streets going to be closed, et cetera.
They should have gotten warning when the streets are being closed. I don't understand why they wouldn't. The streets are closed for safety reasons for the workers who are working, and we only allow local people who live on that street to travel that street when the road is excavated or when there's people working in the road. And some of the operations just require a road closing.
I noticed the other day myself that Erneston Road was backed up.
Ernston Road?
Yeah, was backed up quite a bit.
I didn't hear anything that would have, I don't think that was Madison Park related. I did not get a warning on that.
Okay.
Could have been in Sayreville.
Okay.
I think it was in Sayreville.
Think it was Sayreville? Okay. The other question is, some of the complaints is about the garbage collectors, the garbage holders. It appears there's a lot of noise now. They are coming through the area all hours, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and all during the day.
No, they need to let us know if they're there before. I believe we turned the ordinance to
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Any noise before 6 a.m., let us know, and we'll notify the police.
If they're there before 6 a.m.?
Yes, they are not allowed to be picking up residential before 6.
Before 6, and they can come throughout the day?
I believe there's at night, too. We have something.
I think it ends at 6 or 7. I'd have to look at the ordinance, but, yeah.
We just did that about a year ago.
Yeah.
We did the garbage pickup. And there was been some complaints from around the rest of the town also.
Right.
So please let us know.
Okay. The last question on this is, it appears that there are more than 2 garbage truck companies that are going through the area: Bridge Disposal, Midcore, Waste Management, and Soterra. I was told that perhaps back when Mayor Cameron was there, that something about no more than 2.
I don't believe we limit the options for the residents as far as picking a hauler.
So they can have as many as 4 coming through?
I believe that there's 4 haulers in town, yes.
Okay.
That's unfortunate because they all come on different days of the week, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a problem all over.
So they're making a lot of noise, going through. Okay, and the last thing is, I guess, Mr. President, I hope it's appropriate I can speak on this.
Absolutely.
I sent everyone an email regarding let me get my mail back up, regarding the pipeline. And the reason why I met with some people, and they are very concerned about the effects of this pipeline coming through. They're concerned about the safety, possible explosions, things like the air quality, the integrity of the town potable water treatment system. And so I think I sent a letter to the clerk to put into record. I just want this to be put into record that my constituents are very concerned about this pipeline coming through. So I want that to be a part of the record. And I didn't get a response back from anyone, but I'm sure that all of us here in Old Bridge would be concerned about a pipeline coming through. I know most of the people, most of the council here, it may not affect your ward, but it's very much into my ward, which is Madison Park, and also London Church, which really comes right past me, Westminster Boulevard. So I just want this to be on record that we are very concerned about this pipeline.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes.
Mrs. Soha.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, parking utility, the parking and transportation. Did you say this was? Did you guys meet recently? Okay. Would you be able to send me an email when you're meeting again? Because I would really like to come. I think it would be good to sit in and listen to your concerns. So next time you have a meeting, could you please let me know? Okay, thank you. Second of all, the corner of Amboy Road and Lambertston, once again, it's been the scene of 2 accidents recently, one of which there was an injury to our volunteer fire chief, Tom Small. Once again, when you're there at that area, please, it has the solar stop signs and so on. If you could please slow down and make sure that you stop a full stop. Second of all, I'd like to ask the mayor if we could please have the police go and reassess that corner again. On one side, there's, is it arborvitaes that are, that are planted there? Rich is here from Rambling Knolls, and unfortunately, they've grown tremendously, and I think they may be a problem in the line of sight. So if we could have someone go over and assess, that would be really good, because that corner is just horrific. So if I travel it every day, please just slow down when you get there, make a full stop, and please look. These accidents are incredible. Richard, you were there that night, so you saw what happened as well. So could we have someone go and look?
Councilman, thank you. Yeah, I've personally spoken to the sergeant and also one of the patrol officers. I told them to go to that location and bring their clippers with them. So I'm assuming everything is trimmed back. They were going to check the line of sight legally to make sure the sight triangles were accurate. And if they weren't, they were going to do what they had to do or let Public Works know to go do what they had to do. But I did personally talk to them, but I will follow up to make sure they went out there.
And thank you, Richard.
Okay. Anybody else on this side? Mrs. Panos.
I just want to thank Parking and Utilities. I know this is your first year at it, and you're doing a good job. But please, could you notify all council members when that next parking thing is? Maybe we could do a tour or something and see what gives down there. Thank you.
Anybody else in the council?
I know I spoke, but can I just say something about that
I want
corner
to
of
go to people who haven't
Lambertson?
spoken yet. Anybody else? Mr. Mollis, Mr. Rosencrantz, Mrs. Walker, please. Mrs. Walker?
Yes, I'm here. I live on that corner, so I see what goes on there, and I just want to say on the side where Mrs. Sower was talking about where the arborvitaes are, the problem is the stop sign is set back. If the police could look at this far, and if people do stop at that stop sign, you can't see, there's a hill there, unfortunately, and you have to really pull almost into the intersection to be able to see the cars coming up, and they do come up over that hill, anybody that knows, about 60, 70 miles an hour. So those bushes are definitely in the way, and it's also the stop sign. I don't know what we could do about that, the people stopping too far back. I think that needs to be looked at by the police as well.
We'll take a look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So just a couple comments. First of all, the back and forth, on the council, when it's public time to speak, the council should not be engaging the public. That's been a longstanding practice. We've done that for years and years and years. That's why the council has the opportunity to speak like we just did. Okay. As far as the 5 minutes are concerned, that's a council rule. It's in the meeting, and we try and adhere to that as best we can. Okay. The taping of the minutes, that gets changed by ordinance. If you'd like to put that forward on a pink sheet, and we could, so you could do that as well, okay? So I just wanted to clear that up. I'll close the council member comments. Do we have a report of the township clerk?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I want to take the opportunity to let you know that tonight will be Patricia Green's last official council meeting. Pat is retiring, and her last day of work at the township will be May 31st. I personally want to thank her for all that she has done in the clerk's office. And I know that the council will agree that Pat has done an amazing job each and every meeting, as well as every election. I could go on and on regarding her work ethics and her dedication to her job, but I know that you are all aware of that. Pat, thank you.
You're supposed to be giving one.
Let her finish.
Pat, thank you for your 21 years of outstanding service to Aldbridge Township and to the clerk's office. You will be missed terribly in the office, not just for your work, but for you and the person you are. Thank you again, Pat, from all of us.
Since the clerk made that announcement, would anybody like to say anything about Pat Green? Anybody like the opportunity? All right. Giving people the opportunity, Pat.
I did.
Mrs. Pounce?
Because I didn't, Stella said she wanted to do something. Pat, not often, but I'm without words. I'm going to miss you.
Thank you, Lucille.
You're a good worker.
Gonna miss you, Pat. Really good job. Thank
right.
you. Pleasure working with you.
I'll just add, best of luck to you. Best of luck to you, and congratulations on your retirement. I believe we'll all miss you.
You're taking back what you said before?
Absolutely. And I only meant it from my heart.
Thank you so much.
Pat, I will miss you, Pat.
Mr.
Please.
Pat, I just want to say, you were always so kind and gracious to me, and you know how I came in, and you were so helpful in explaining things to me, and I thank you so much, and I wish you Godspeed in everything you choose to do in your future.
If you were here, he'd say, God bless. He sure would. He would.
Pat, I will miss you.
It's on YouTube right now. All right, great. Congratulations,
And I
Pat.
wish you all the best and enjoy your grandchildren, because I know that you're looking forward to that.
Okay. All right, do we have a report of the township attorney?
No report, thanks.
A report? Great. Okay, let's go on to the administrative report. Mr. Shah.
Council President, I'll be handling. Mr.
Oh,
Mayor will
sorry.
be handling the administrative report from the mayor's chair. Just want to put my back to the audience.
There you go.
and be-
Sure.
Better answer
Absolutely.
questions. I'll try to do my best.
Yep.
Talking about the commuter parking lots resurfacing and lighting. On May 9th, Hale-Built Construction Company will begin replacing curbs, sidewalks, and Inverness Drive and Westminster Boulevard commuter parking lots. On or about May 15th, the contractor will be performing milling and pavement resurfacing at Westminster Boulevard parking lot. On or about May 29th, the contractor will perform milling and pavement on the surfaces at Inverness commuter parking lot. Each parking lot will be closed during the milling and paving operation. All work is expected to be completed by June 12th. So we anticipate some interruptions and some inconvenience, but I'm assuming this is going to be done at nights and on weekends. So we'll try to limit, but this is a project that's been long, long overdue. Lighting they're in need of this work, and it's finally going to happen.
Good.
Item number 2, 2017 Mother's Day Social. On May 12th, Township Office of Aging will host the annual Mother's Day Social beginning with lunch at 12 noon, followed by a dance recital and performances by the students of Old Bridge School of Dance. Item number 3, Mayor Henry's Clean Team. On May 13th, myself and volunteers from Boy Scout Troop 36, South Old Bridge Fire Ladies Auxiliary, St. Ambrose School, the Filipino-American community of Old Bridge will be cleaning litter on Sandfield Road, Kearney Road, Spring Valley Road, Birch Street, and Cheesequake Road. On May 20th, I and the volunteers will be on and from the Cavalry Christian School, McDivitt School K-Kids Club, Old Bridge Soccer Warriors, Sharks, and Cosmos will be cleaning litter on Bayview Drive, Shoreland Circle, Guy Park, Beyond Avenue, Jake Brown Road, and Sunset Avenue. For additional information, residents should contact the Clean Communities Coordinator, 732-721-5600, extension 6107. 90th birthday bash celebration and luncheon on May 15th. The Old Bridge Senior Center, in conjunction with the Middlesex County Office of Aging and Disabled Services, will be hosting the 90th birthday bash in celebration of our Older Americans Month. For additional information, residents should contact the Senior Center again at 732-721-5600, extension 6600. Intergenerational program on May 17th. Old Bridge Senior Center, in conjunction with the Municipal Alliance and Old Bridge High School, will be hosting the closing ceremony of the intergenerational program. This annual program pairs up senior citizens and high school students from two distinct generations and provides opportunities for socialization, physical activities, and the exchange of ideas and traditions. For additional information, again, residents should contact the Senior Center, extension 6600. Very important as we get to the Memorial Day at the end of the month. The Memorial Day ceremony on May 26th, I will be holding a Memorial Day wreath-laying ceremony at the Senior Center. The ceremony is scheduled to begin at 10:30 a.m. For additional information, again, contact my office, extension 2040. That same weekend, we have the Memorial Day Parade on May 29th. The Township will be holding its annual Memorial Day Parade. The event will begin at 9 a.m. For additional information about this event, residents should contact Department of Parks and Recreation at extension 4999, or they can visit the Township website. We'll have more to say to this at the next council meeting also, before the parade. New businesses grand openings. During the month of April, I and staff welcomed 4 new businesses to Old Bridge, including Ace Pharmacy, the Farmer's Agent Insurance, the new across the street, the expansion of the RE/MAX. The next scheduled grand opening is for May 16th. All About Fun in the Marketplace Shopping Center on Route 34. And on May 20th, I will be at the Club Metro at the Brown Town Shopping Center on Route 516. For additional information on local businesses and related opportunities, residents should contact the Mayor's Office of Economic Development, extension 7920, or obedo@oldbridge.com. The 2014 Homestead Rebate Program. The 2014 Homestead Rebate was applied to the second quarter tax payment due in May. Revised tax bills for qualified homeowners were mailed out during the first week in April. For additional information, residents should contact the New Jersey Division of Taxation at 888-238-1233 or the Office of the Tax Collector at 732-721-5600, 2999. Second quarter tax payments. The Township Division of Tax Collection will open Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. during the second quarter tax collection period. The tax office will also be open between the hours of 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. on May 10th. For additional information, residents should contact Division of the Tax Collection at extension 2999. As the beginning of the meeting, I read the International Building Safety Month, Mayor's International Building Safety Month, and the Township of Old Bridge understands and recognizes the need for safe and sustainable structures where we live, work, and play. The official International Code Council, ICC, theme for 2017 is Partners in Community Safety and Economic Growth. For additional information on Building Safety Month, residents can visit the ICC website at iccsafe.org. That concludes, as at the bottom, congratulations to Always Dreaming, who won the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. This is the first year I did not place a wager on the Kentucky Derby, and it's the first year my numbers came out, so. So much for that theory.
Any questions for the mayor on the administrative report? Mrs. Dungy.
Yeah. On the second one, where is this event being held? At the Senior Citizen Building? Number 2.
Mother's Day Social?
Yeah.
I didn't hear the question.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's at the Senior Center.
I have a question.
Mr. Rosencrantz.
Number one, the parking lots that are going to be closed, how are the commuters going to be advised of that?
Notification.
Stickers on their window, mails?
I think we sent out emails,
Okay.
flyers. And we're not going to close the lots during the day.
And I believe they're going to put up some signs also.
Yes,
So the
signage, yeah.
commuters
Okay.
can know.
Any other questions on the administration report? Motion to accept the administration report, please.
Move it.
Moved by Mr. Rosencrantz. Can I have a second? Second, Mrs. Dungy. Roll call on the administration report.
Mrs. Dungy?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg? Yes. Mr. Green? Yes.
I have to make a correction before you vote on the
Sorry.
administrative report. I've just been corrected by public, Kyle, you want to repeat? Hold on. My first one, I messed up.
The commuter lots, they will be closed during the day, but they will not close both of them at the same time. It'll be either the Inverness lot or the Westminster lot. They're starting the Westminster lot first tomorrow.
Just parts where they're working.
Parts of it tomorrow doing curb work, and then
Where they're
next
working.
week they'll start with the milling aspects of the project.
Okay.
There's only
All right.
milling and paving that will be closed.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Cahill?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you, Council.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. We have items C1 through C21. Can I have a motion to introduce, please?
Move it.
Moved by Mrs. Panos. Can I have a second? I'll second it. Before I go to the council for separations, anybody from the public want to be heard on items C1 through C21? I'll close the public portion. Any council separations?
Number 10, sir.
Mr. Mollis, number 10.
Number 8.
Mrs. Panos, number 8. Any other separations from council? None? Okay. Can I get a motion on the balance excluding C8 and C10, please?
Move it.
Moved by Mrs. Walker? Sohar, sorry. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Panos. Roll call on the balance.
Mrs. Dungy?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Cahill?
Yes.
9 yes.
C8, Mrs. Panos?
I just want to bring this program out. Many of the complaints, sometimes as councilwoman, is the property, the maintenance of property next to, somebody has somebody whose lot is unhealthy, like it gets to the point where you're bringing my house values down, or there's a health issue. There's a program in place that started in this administration that when those are reported, the township will send someone, or hire someone to clean it up, and a lien goes on that property, whether it's owned. I see 2 in my ward right here. Some of it is owned by a realty company, or people just leave it deserted and the bank took over. But I want you to be aware of that. If you see anything go, in your neighborhood that's not acceptable, we have a program in place that it'll be cleaned up.
Anybody else want to be heard on C8? Can I get a motion on C8, please?
I'll move it.
Moved by Mr. Green. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Panos. Roll call, please, on C8.
Mrs. Dungy?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos? Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Cahill?
Yes.
9 yes.
Mr. Mollis, C10?
Just a couple questions. Number 1, this vehicle, how old is it? Do we know?
Mr. Mollis, I believe it's 92. I believe it was refurbished in 2012.
It was refurbished,
It looks brand new.
so it comes with maintenance records and so forth?
Yes.
Okay.
Council, this is something we've been looking for a number of years
Why
now.
don't we just let the public know, Mr. Mayor? It's purchase of a surplus military vehicle from the Township of Manchester for emergency uses in the Township of Old Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, these are 5-ton military trucks. They're very large, and they're called high-water vehicles. They can go through water, 5-6 feet deep. And one of our shortfalls with Sandy was being able to get the parts of the town that was inundated with flooding. We had to rely on other towns that couldn't respond in time. So now we have a vehicle now that will be able to get to Cliffwood Beach, South Old Bridge, wherever areas are identified as flooding. It also improves our off-road capability to help fire in times of assistance, educational purposes. I think the council will be very impressed when they see this vehicle when it pulls into town. If you've seen the shore communities, you've seen them. Their OEM has these large troop carriers, and they can just about go anywhere.
Any other questions on C10? Okay, I have a motion on C10, please.
I'll move it.
Moved by Mr. Green. Can I have a second, please?
A second.
Second, Mrs. Panos. Roll call on C10.
Mrs. Dungy?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Malas?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Cahill?
Yes.
9 yes.
That concludes the consent agenda. We're going to jump into actually the public comments on any subject matter. Does anybody want to be heard from the public? Yes, sir.
Yep.
Good evening. Philip McGovern, 201 Yorkshire Court in Society Hill. The Old Bridge Park and Ride at Westminster Boulevard is very, very popular. There are 5 lots altogether. 4 of them say Old Bridge Park and Ride, A, B, C, and D. They're not Old Bridge for Old Bridge residents. The 5th is for the Old Bridge Park and Ride for Old Bridge residents. It causes some confusion. Why am I paying 75? Why 25? Also, if the lot is that popular on weekdays, why not expand it? There's space behind it. Now, I don't know who owns the land or what could be done with that, but if you had added more space for Old Bridge residents, it would be used. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public want to be heard? Yes?
Hi, I'm Patty Belsario, Colts Neck, New Jersey. I have my notes in my phone, so I gotta pull them up. I'll sit down because I have to read.
Sure.
True test of a manager, of a good manager, is one that utilizes the strength of its team to maximize benefit. The sign of a poor manager is one that is intimidated by their team's knowledge and instead threatened by their knowledge. With this being said, I'd like to question the council. Why didn't Ms. Chen request help from the volunteers or any rescue group to help Romeo? If the volunteers were still welcome into the shelter, Romeo would still be alive. We as a group have helped countless dogs with similar behavioral issues. Each are now living in loving homes. Her lack of knowledge and ability to make clear decisions have once again negatively impacted an animal under her care. First, she neglects a cat for months, going on a 2-week vacation, knowing full well that the cat Jupiter was unable to eat. If the ASPCA hadn't forced Ms. Chen to take this cat to the vet, resulting in 9 pulled teeth and abscesses, which could have led to sepsis and the death of this cat. She actually had the nerve to tell a staff member if they were concerned with this cat, then they should pay for it themselves. I had offered to pay for this cat's treatment or offered the resources of the volunteers, but we were all ignored. Once again, her inability to communicate effectively and reach out to appropriate resources could have led to an animal's death. Well, now her inability to make clear and educated decisions have led to the death of an innocent animal. Continuing to allow Ms. Chen to run the shelter puts every animal at risk. Each of you are partially to blame for allowing this to continue. We as human beings have failed Romeo. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to be heard from the public? Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, it's on. My name is Richard Futurelli, 20 Knoll Court. I'm president of Rambling Knolls. I'm vice president of Madison Township Historical Society, and I'm a member of the Parking and Transportation Committee. I guess I have my hands full. I want to touch quickly on a couple issues. On the Lambertson and Amboy issue, as Councilman Soho pointed out, that has gotten to be difficult because of the arborvitaes and the overgrowth there. The resident of that home that's on an odd-shaped lot that's there on that corner decided to place those arborvitaes, the original owner, as a privacy fence, and they overgrew, and of course they cut the line of sight, which was the side triangle which was there going up onto Amboy Road, so it diminished the line of sight. I'd like to thank Mary Sohor and everyone who increased the signage on Disbrow Road. We have the speed limit signs, we did the work, we lined it, We put signs, everything there, and we continue to have accidents there. We can't put any more signs there. And it's signed out over there. I'm afraid that, that night that I was there, a young girl almost got killed. She's standing on the side of the road with her friends, and they're hugging each other. The car got totaled. Absolutely totaled. It was a miracle she walked away. It was horrible. I don't want to see any resident hurt there. We've had fatalities over there already, but again, we need to take action, and I'm sure the mayor's going to follow through on that. On the other issue, I brought before the council. I have some copies for the council members. I know I sent 3 of you by email on the proposed bamboo ordinance for the town. I think the mayor, I put the mayor on it. I have copies which I want to distribute to the rest of you so you can review it. I'm not asking anyone to take any action on this tonight, but in the future we'll consider and discuss it. And I just want to invite everyone to stop by to the Thomas Warren Museum on Route 516. Ann Miller has stepped down after so many years. She retired from the board of Madison Township, Thomas Warren. I didn't take her place. Someone else moved, and I moved into another position. But I'd like to publicly thank Ann Miller for all her years of service. Okay. And I want to thank everyone. And I'll speak to you tonight. I'll distribute all this to everyone. I have them with here. I'll give them.
Well, yeah, just give me the clerk. That'd be great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to be heard from the public? Yes, please.
Hi, guys. Lisa Lent from Terrell Road. I just want to expand on what Patty mentioned a few minutes ago. For those of you that don't know who Romeo was, he was a young dog that was at the shelter that was put to sleep last week under the guidance of Miss Chen and Captain Mandola. Prior to Miss Chen coming about 2 years ago, there was a group of 22 solid volunteers that came 7 days a week and covered every single hour for these animals to have education, exercise, stimulation, everything. We also raised anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a year to help with medical bills, training, camp, everything. We've helped, like Patty said, numerous dogs with similar issues to Romeo, Dozer, Trevor, Tanner, and the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, because Miss Chen has removed, and Captain Mandola and the mayor and everyone else has went along with this decision. When I say removed, we were banned, and we have documentation. There was no one to step in to help Romeo. Unfortunately, the budget doesn't allow for the dog to get camp time, exercise, training. So the township vet did the only thing he could do, and that was to suggest the dog to be put to sleep, and Captain Mandola went along with it and agreed. Unfortunately, when you don't have a volunteer staff to help with money, with training, everything, this is what happens. These animals suffer because no one is stepping up on the council or in administration to help them. If you guys don't want to expand the budget to cover what we used to, then you have to make changes within the shelter. She cannot continue to remove volunteers that support these animals. Romeo was put to sleep solely because there was nobody there to help him. And it is on all of you, as well as the township and anyone else that continues to support her and Captain Mandola. This needs to change. Now you have a group of just a handful of volunteers that sometimes come, sometimes don't, that had to sign a waiver saying that they give up their First Amendment rights to participate as volunteers, and they raise $0. So I'm not sure exactly how all of you are stepping in and helping these animals, but it's a shame. It's really a shame, and you guys should just take a better look and wake up and help these animals, because nobody else is. Thank you.
Anybody else want to be heard from the public? Yes, sir.
Tony Paschitti, 40 Southwood Drive. I wanted to speak tonight and introduce myself. I'm Tony Paschitti, lifetime resident of Old Bridge. I've been a volunteer and have been involved in Old Bridge most of my life. I care very much about this town, and I'm a candidate for Ward 5 Council. I decided to run for the Ward 5 seat because over the past 2 years, I've seen some really nasty comments come out of the mouths of Councilman Green and Panos. I am pleased to see that John Murphy has decided to run against Panos, and in the past few months, decisions to run a primary has been confirmed as
Stop. Mrs.
correct
Panos.
decision.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Mr. Green has impugned my character and lied about my son Michael, so I want to set this record straight that my son Michael does not work for the MUA, and in fact, he is a college student working part-time in a restaurant. I see that Mr. Green has gotten so bad that he has to lie to make up stories to try to get reelected. What Mr. Green has not told the public is that he sold himself for votes on this council. I have a better vision for this town and the residents of Old Bridge. I believe that each and every vote that this council votes on ought to consider the tax-paying resident and not vote to enrich themselves or their friends. Isn't it true, Mr. Green, that you voted for the Mayor Phillips budget to get your son on the MUA? And in fact, you voted for Councilman Cahill for council president so you'd get appointed to the tax board, which you just went ahead and not supported Old Bridge. Your time is up, Mr. Green, and I believe that the likes of Ms. Panos and Sam Thompson are living proof that there should be term limits. You may have been a good man many years ago, but you have lost your way, and it's time for new leadership. It's disgusting that you have attacked my family with attempted vulgar language, and I'm asking the residents to vote for me, Anthony Tony Pasquitti, for Ward 5. Let's stop the childish nonsense and get back to the people's business in Old Bridge. Thank you.
Anybody else in the public want to be heard? Is that a yes? Okay.
Yeah, my name is Robert Thompson, Cliffwood Beach, and I guess I'm also known as the individual at the Recreation Board meeting. I was referred to by Mr. Green. Many people were at the Recreation meeting that night, and several of them contacted me the next day and questioned about Mr. Green's outburst to me. As I said in the last meeting, the mayor was there, Mr. Rosencrantz was there, and you yourself were there. Everyone saw what happened. There were people that came, and they want to come to the meeting, and they want to set the record straight because they're tired of people like me trying to take the heat for Mr. Green's outburst. Everyone knows what happened. Everyone sat down after the thing and said, Mr. Green, I don't know what he did after that. He was sort of quiet for like 20 minutes and just sort of lingered around. And then it sort of ended. So people wanted to come forward. Believe me, I wasn't the one. Mr. Green started this issue with me. I had no intention of carrying any grudge or action on it or anything else until Mr. Green brought the issue up. Everyone knows what happened, and there's people in every ward that have come to me and said, who was at the meeting? Who was there? Who saw this? I said the councilman in that ward who saw it. I said the councilmen who were present. And they're waiting to see what the answer is, and they're waiting to see what was said at that meeting. And Mr. Green was completely out of line at that meeting. He was the one that was out of order. Thank you.
Anybody else in the public want to be heard? I'll close it. Oh, sorry.
Anybody else want to beat me up?
Green. It's the public's portion. Yes, please.
It's Camille Napolitano. I am a homeowner along with my husband on Lewis Street, 36 Lewis Street, Old Bridge. I'm embarrassed to admit this is the first time as a resident that I'm attending one of these meetings.
Welcome.
And I plan on coming forward, in the future. I have a question. Is that possible to present it tonight? I didn't have it planned, but I have a question. I was a volunteer emergency medical technician for the Green and White Old Bridge First Aid Squad when I first moved to the town. And as a result, I accrued a benefit for a few thousand for the time that I had given to this service. I am unable to collect on that because I am short of 1 year. Is there anything I can do about that?
That's a legal matter. You
Yeah.
have to, you can try calling it the township on the off time, but if that's a legal matter, it's a private one. If it's a private legal matter, you can try talking to an attorney who'd represent you.
A private attorney for myself to to address the township? I don't
What
understand.
you're saying is you think that you're shorted some money?
No, it's in an account waiting for me to collect, but because I didn't do 5 years, I only did.
See, oh,
And I keep getting a statement every month, and I don't know what to do with it. I am entitled to it, but
yeah.
the program that was introduced.
Yeah, I think it's something we probably shouldn't talk about out in public. I think maybe you
All right,
should
so
make
then
an
tell me
appointment
where I
with.
can go or what I can do.
I think we should talk to the administration and we could see what's what. Maybe call Mr. Shaw and, off hours. Not in public, I guess is what I'm saying, so. What was your name again? I'm sorry, ma'am.
Camille Napolitano.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else from the public want to be heard? I'll close the public portion. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into executive session.
Council President, I'd like to make some statements
Yes,
based on some of
Mr. Henry.
what we listened to here tonight. Yeah, I'm going to read some statements in reference to some of the issues that we talked about here tonight. And first is the euthanasia of Romeo. And we've received numerous emails. We've heard some people testify, speak tonight about the concern of loss of Romeo, who was a male pit bull. We take it very seriously. Now, at the outset, let's be honest and say that it's noted that the goal of the Old Bridge Animal Shelter is for every animal to be adopted into a good home. That's our primary goal. We are not a kill shelter. Also, in this case, the township relies and goes on the opinion of its licensed professionals. Expertise regarding management of cats and dogs that arrive at the shelter. Unfortunately, in some cases, some animals with medical or emotional issues are unable to be placed with the public in the best interest of public safety. It is our understanding that that was the case with Romeo. To place an unfit or dangerous animal with an adoptive home, in an adoptive home, would pose a risk to those families, residents of the township, and this is a risk our insurance company and everyone involved. We are unwilling to impose upon the residents of Old Bridge, and we are sorry that this had to happen, but it was not the decision of who you claim it was. It was not. And the personal attacks against township employees and volunteers. Council, you have a packet, confidential. I would not let minors read what is in these packages. It has come to my attention that vicious verbal attacks have been leveled at or about one of our township employees and officials of this township regarding the operation of the Old Bridge Animal Shelter. These communications made through social media, email, and other methods are spreading false and unfound rumors, oftentimes laced with racial slurs and innuendos. These attacks are dangerous, venomous, unfair, and detrimental to the operation of the township and employees. This will not be tolerated. We will not allow this verbal abuse to go unaddressed or have it interfere with the physical and emotional safety of our personnel, either at work or at home. I'm putting the township and everyone and the public on notice that we intend to quickly put an end to this vicious slander mill. In that regard, we have authorized public safety officials at both the state, local, and county levels to begin an investigation into these attacks, and we will prosecute those offending individuals to the fullest extent of the law. The claims currently ascertained by the NJSPCA against our township employee are in the hands of her attorneys. While we are not privy to those communications between our employee and her attorneys, which are privileged, it is our understanding and our opinion is based on the investigations performed to date by the police, legal counsel, that there is absolutely no evidence, none, that Ms. Chen's actions violated applicable law. These investigations are ongoing, and further updates will be provided to the township as the assessments continue. Council, these are facts. I give you facts, and I've warned you before about getting your facts from social media and coming to an opinion based, but these are facts. We have documentation of every action that has been taken at that shelter, every action that has taken place. So I can't stop people from lying. I can't stop people from making up stories. But when it gets personal and they start putting people's careers and professions and start questioning professionals with licenses and their ability to make decisions, we're going to put a stop to it. So if anyone has any questions, I will certainly meet with the council.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
We're going to go
Thank
into
you for members at home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're going to go into executive session. We will return to have a discussion audience. There will be no more public comments tonight. Motion to go, we have to read this motion? Please, if you could, Mr. Attorney.
Okay,
Go ahead.
be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Old Bridge that the public shall be excluded from this meeting pursuant to NJSA 10-4-13 for the discussion of the following matter or matters: Township personnel, collective bargaining negotiations update, and the Kennedy pilot program. We shall reconvene after the executive session.
I need a motion to go into executive session, please.
Move it.
Moved by Mr. Rosencrantz. Can I have a second? Second, Mrs. Dungy. Roll call in the executive session.
Mrs. Dungy?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg? Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis? Mrs. Panos?
Off.
Off dais.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar? Yes. Mrs. Walker? Yes. President Cahill?
Yes.
8 yes.
We're in executive session. Can we have the courtroom cleared, please? Good? Great. Okay, so we're out of executive session. We're back in public session. We're going to talk about a discussion ordinance, DO1, ordinance of the Township of Old Bridge approving application for financial agreement HHFT Holdings. Do we need any discussion, or is somebody who want to make a motion to move this to first reading?
I'll move it.
Moved by Mr. Green. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Mollis. Any other discussion? Roll call, please. I'm moving it to first reading.
Mrs. Dungy?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis?
Yes.
Mrs. Panos?
Yes.
Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Cahill?
Yes.
9 yes.
Councilmember comments? Any comments before we adjourn? Close the councilmember comment? Oh, sorry. Okay, Dr. Greenberg.
Several things. First of all, I know that we've had a list of houses that are very dilapidated through the town, that are dangerous, that are collapsing, that were earmarked for demolition. Are they ever going to get demolished? They're eyesores.
You're referring to this,
There's one on Wesley Road, there's that pink house, the roof's down, it's
they were in the
hard.
process of putting that together, Dr. Greenberg. They're not scheduled as of right now for demolition. We're working with the owners. They are privately owned. The demolition that's going on around town now is strictly Sandy related. Those homes are being demolished right now.
Yeah, and I think there's one also in Cheesequake Woods that was damaged.
Yes.
And-
Mr. Mollis
yeah.
alerts me to that one.
And there's-
And that's part of the ordinance that we passed with the abandoned properties,
Right.
And that's being put together with the homeowners. They're contributing to the fund, and with that money, we will take whatever steps. There was a process, I believe it was up to maybe 3-year process in order to get those homes down, torn, and demolished if the owner doesn't take action. So, and we are actively working on that. We have, I think we've assigned a housing inspector to that. We have somebody who's only working on abandoned properties and property maintenance right now, a new employee.
Dr. Greenberg has the floor. Joe, yeah, just.
So,
yeah.
so these homes that we've marked multiple times before.
Yes.
I know that, we go through the budget cycle, we talked about and we said it there, where there's money set aside, if they're privately owned, if they're taken over by the town through tax liens or anything. I really think they're dangerous, and I would like, the focus to be put on to get
I've had
rid
many
of them.
conversations you know,
And
we
it-
should take these homes need to come, but
And it takes down the property value of people around
I
them.
agree 100%.
And we're just fortunate so far, if you look at the one on the Wesley Road, I speak of that one because it's close. Luckily, you know, there used to be kids that used to go in there. If that roof collapsed, as I said, the one in Cheesequake, there's one over Cliffwood Beach. So I hope this gets addressed, you know, very shortly.
And with the help of the council, adopting that ordinance is now gives us the tools we need to make some progress. But it's going to take some time.
Any other comments?
Yes,
Mrs. Dungy?
Mr.
And then we'll go to Mr. Miles. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
Mrs. Dungy? and then
Yes,
Mr. Miles.
I just have a quick question. Mr. Mayor, over by me, Westminster Boulevard, going up towards Quick Check, that road is really bad. Who takes care of that? Does the township or does the owner of the London Terrace?
In the apartment complex?
Yeah.
I will double check, but I believe it's the responsibility of the operators of that property. I will see. I don't believe that's our road. We don't snowplow it. I've never gone there for calls for service.
Okay, so
But I
I
would
should
believe it'd be the responsibility of the property managers.
Okay. I'll talk with them, because it's really, really bad. Okay.
Goes between two apartment complexes, I believe.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. Thank you so much.
Make complaint to the property manager. There is a lot of resurfacing going on in our other apartment complexes. If you go around, you see Glenwood is getting resurfaced, all new curbs. I believe Pine Gate on Route 18 is doing a resurfacing project. So I applaud the property owners for investing in their properties.
Okay.
They should do the same.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Miles?
Yeah, just to the mayor, I know you and I have discussed this subject many times, the gazebo down the beach in Cliffwood.
Can you just speak into the mic, Mr. Miles?
I can't hear
I'm
you,
sorry.
Joe. I'm like you.
The project, the gazebo on Cliffwood Beach, you and I have discussed many, many times. Will this be included in that also?
We've had some serious conversations with building and engineering about getting that old recreation center that was severely damaged by Sandy. It cannot be rebuilt in its current location. But we wanted to prioritize the homeowners and the residents first to get their structures who were impacted by that storm, to make sure that they were demolished first.
Very good.
Make their lives whole first.
Mhm.
But we are active. I'm going to, shortly, you're going to see a demolition plan for that.
Beautiful.
Adjourn. Mrs. Walker?
I have a question for the mayor. You know, we have those stop signs around town, the flashing stop signs?
Yes.
I think they're very effective. I
Very,
mean, I know we have a lot of accidents at Amboy and Lamberson, but I can see myself, it has really cut down on people running the stop sign. Is there any chance that we could get more grant money for more of them in other key intersections?
Yes, and even if we didn't get grant money, I'm willing to invest, a capital project into those stop signs. They're very inexpensive.
Yes.
We had a good run at Lambertson and Amboy up until
Yes.
these two.
Yes.
There was a while before there was any type of problem there, and everybody was saying how great. No, they were working. The one accident that was referred to before, the individual admitted,
Stop sign.
we
Yes.
could have had a brick wall there. She was
Right.
going through it.
She wasn't-
She was
yeah,
not
she admitted
paying
it.
attention and on a phone, whatever, changing the radio. So anything there would have not stopped that individual from going through that stop sign.
Right. No, but I think they're very effective, because we used to have people running that stop sign constantly, and I've noticed it cut down, but I thought we originally had mentioned Ticetown and Cottrell as maybe having one, but we could identify some key areas, because we used to have meetings a few years ago, and we would identify areas. I think that would be a good thing if we could do that, or give it to the parking and transportation people, if Rich is still in the audience. If they could come to us and tell us some areas, maybe we could get
We have
some more.
police data to identify the intersections that we have a problem, but every one that we've put the blinking stoplights on have improved much.
Yes.
Spring Hill and Cottrell. We've had a lot of success on Marlboro and Southwood Drive. Marlboro and East Greystone has improved. We haven't had any incidents knock on wood, I'll be jinxing it, but they've worked. And if we identify other areas with stop signs that warrant that investment, I certainly have no objection in taking care of those locations.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments before we adjourn?
Are we going to have any public comment?
We had public before we went into executive session. Okay, motion to adjourn? Move it. Moved by Mr. Green, second? Second by Mrs. Dungy. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Dungy? Yes. Dr. Greenberg? Yes. Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Mollis? Mrs. Panos? Yes. Mr. Rosencrantz?
Yes.
Sohar? Yes. Mrs. Walker? Yes. President Cahill?
Yes, we are adjourned.